And welcome back to Late Night Love. We are back. The end of July is over, and we get to start August with some new life, right? Oh,
Yeah.
man. The end of July is always, well, whenever the state fair is, because who knows where.
Yeah, that it was the state fair period.
Yeah, that my life gets taken over. And, and we had some travel just before that. And so it's been a while before we ended up taking most of July off. Is essentially what happened.
Yeah.
So the problem, what we didn't do is communicate that very well, but I was busy. So,
yeah, we make the joke that I'm a state fair widow, like a football widow,
Yep. So we are back. And in this episode, we are going to tackle the complexities of relationships across different areas of life, from workplace etiquette to parenting challenges and romantic dilemmas. We provide insights and advice to help you navigate these tricky situations, as is our want.
Yes.
All right. But we are just going to kind of jump in tonight. We don't have, other than chatting about the state fair thing, which we'll talk about maybe in the second segment or on Thursday for those who are listening to this on Tuesday.
Yes.
On Thursday, we'll probably talk about that. But first, I think we're going to dive into our professional sphere, our kind of life, which is, workplace woes, mentorship, things that don't really fit under love or relationships, because love is about family. It usually talks about family. Life, we should talk about under life probably more. It's probably about, mental health and journeys and things like that. We should probably add those questions to life.
See what I
think. Well, sometimes I go through it and put those in, right? But I just didn't have time. I had to get the studio put back together, and I just ran out. I ran out of time. Is essentially what happened. But hey, we're busy. Work can keep people busy, and life can keep people busy, and you have to make judgments about priorities. And sometimes even high priorities, can't get done because there's not enough time.
You know what I found, though, what I've noticed? We always come back to this, We may get distracted, but we always come back.
Yeah. Well, because, I was talking about that. I teach a podcast class, and we were talking about, your why. Why do you do your podcast? Because you can't answer that until you honestly answered why you're going to do it. Why do you want to do it? And how does a cat not jump that high up? That was kind of pathetic there, Kitty.
We'll make an introduction
again
to our viewing members. This is Ramsey, ruler of all his faith.
Ramsey's a ruler, all right.
He gets to do whatever he wants.
Yeah, no, that's not how that works. But what Ramsey's does remind me to do is to tell us you can find us at latenightLove.us. You can send us your questions, comments, or suggestions, whatever, to love at latenightLove.us. You can find us on KUBO on Live 365. And you can find us on your, YouTube, Rumble, in your social media, your favorite podcast network type thing.
We're on there.
Yeah, we're on there. We should be at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've been around a while. But that was a point. I was talking at the podcast class about, why we started. And you're going, we started this podcast for essentially purely selfish reasons.
Yeah, we did.
But, it doesn't matter. It's not the point. The point is that you know why you did it. We did it because I was running for office and I needed to keep a foot in something sane, and this podcast is more sane than politics. So there you go. That's what, it was a skill we had, or a skill I had, and a skill you were willing to learn and evolve over the way.
Remember, I used to not want to be on camera. I used to barely talk.
Yeah, you just threw out the questions and I was answering them.
Yeah.
Which we should go back and revisit some of those early questions we did. The answers were good, but we should put them into snippets and put them on for social media.
Okay.
That's a long project. I should teach you how to do that one of these days. Build you a workstation somewhere. All right. Anyway.
Teach me how to edit.
Oh, I wouldn't torment you with that. No. I wouldn't go that far. Might teach you how to, make posts on social media, upload our edited things or finished projects, schedule them onto social media.
Okay.
That thing I might try to do, but I wouldn't torture you with trying to teach you how to. Okay, I wouldn't torture me trying to teach you how to edit. Let's be honest. Editing's not hard, but it's one of those things. Unless you're kind of natural at using computers, it's harder than people like me think it is. I'm kind of a natural. I've been using computers since I was a kid, right? And so I don't think it's very difficult. But for people who technology is not second nature, editing's harder than people like me think it is.
I'm afraid to restart my computer because I'm afraid I'm going to break it.
Yeah. But that's why I'll set you up a workstation, so it's not your computer. So if you break it, that's why it would be a different computer. I'm not that dumb. So no, you can break this one. It's fine. I've got spares, which I do. I have spares for you. I keep a spare one around just in case. Hey, it came around when
and I really appreciate that because it's come in handy.
A couple of times. It came in handy the last couple of weeks. We've been dealing with technology issues, and here the studio is a disaster because someone in the household had been having strange computer issues, and we couldn't track it down. And yeah, it was a nightmare. And we finally got it all figured out. It was the last thing that anybody would have suspected. It was the CPU. CPUs never die, but the CPU died. And and it wasn't acting like a dead CPU. It was acting kind of randomly weird. And in hindsight, it makes sense. But in time, no, it's acted like the power supply or anyway, it was just being really weird. It took us a couple of weeks to get it all figured out and back to normal and everything, but we're all squared away again. Partly because it took so long because we had to do it after I got back from the fair. So after a day of work, a day of going to the fair, you come home and try to, figure out this complex, goofy computer problem at the end of, between like 11 and 2 a.m. before I've got to go to bed and start that whole madness all over again. And so that's kind of what was going on those whole kind of 2 weeks of the fair. I was working 3 jobs, essentially. I was going to sleep and getting up, working of some form. Yeah.
Then the state fair and then home to fix computers.
Home to fix computers or do editing, and because there's some backlog. My other 2 shows were still going on, right? And so I have to edit those. And so, yeah. It was a busy couple of weeks. So back to my normal busy. I can take my normal busy. That was over the top. That was a little over the top.
It was.
Yeah. Okay. So what do we got this week?
We're just going to dive right in.
Well, we passed that part. We've said we were going to dive right in, and then we took us what is it? A 5-minute
detour.
The 5-6 minute detour. Yeah.
Okay. How do I politely decline teaching my boss to do his job?
Sometimes your job is to teach your boss to do his job, how to do his job. Sometimes that's your job.
That's your job.
Yeah. There's, especially if he's coming from somewhere else, his job is, he hasn't been at this place. He doesn't know how things kind of work here. He can't change anything until you know how things work. So yeah, your job is to teach your boss how to do his job. Now, if your boss is just completely incompetent, or he's been at the job 5 years and still doesn't know what he's doing, well, then you have recourse theoretically of the chain of command. But sometimes your job is to, on occasion, your job is to end your job as well. Someone's got to get paid to lock the doors if something is closing down. Someone's got to be the last one out. Sometimes that's your job as well. Just accept what your job is. Be mindful about what it means. If you're the one who's training your boss, that means, okay, maybe you need to work on your management skills and your interpersonal skills. So the next time that job or a similar one comes open, you're the one they think of. Well, they already know how to do it. He's shown managerial skills. You've shown managerial skills. So let's give them the shot. But you can't show those skills unless you display them. So go display them. Okay.
How do I get out of after work drinks?
Just say no.
No thanks.
Yeah. You could use the you don't drink thing, which I do all the time, which is nice because it's true. I don't drink. So most people assume that there's an issue or something, so they don't push you on it. I just don't drink. I can. I just don't like to. Unlike others who.
I've seen you drunk once.
Yeah. Well, I've probably had. We haven't been camping in a long time. I usually may have one beer or something at a campfire, half of a beer or something at a campfire and then remember, oh yeah, that's right, I don't like this stuff, and I don't finish it.
No, this was in Hawaii.
Yes, I do remember that.
And you had 2 ginormous, probably whiskey drinks.
No, they weren't big. I don't remember what they were called. Hurricanes. I was at the military bar to meet a military friend of mine.
Oh.
And we had 2 drinks. I had 2 drinks. That was it. But they were these big, bright. They weren't big. They were just about that size, And so it was really
a normal kitchen glass.
Yeah, normal kitchen glass. And yeah, I only had 2 of them. But I don't drink, so me having 2 of them at that stage is like having 6. So, I went to meet a military friend. What do you want from me?
Oh, hey, I knew you were going to you said you were going to go out for drinks, so that I was just not prepared for the drunk darling of mine.
Hey, what? I'm not.
I didn't know the drunk darling.
Oh,
now I know the drunk darling.
What, am I some mean person or something?
No, you're stupid.
Well, yeah. That's probably why I don't like drinking. I like being stupid. So this is one of those things where you just have to set your boundaries and say no. Or if it's one of those things where it's, going out and networking and it's actually important for your career development, you go and you drink water or soda, or you become the designated driver and you fulfill that role. But mostly I just say don't go. Especially if it's just casual hanging out with the people that you don't really want to go hang out with. You're fine, but I'm with you 8 hours of the day. I don't want to see you people anymore. Nothing personal. I don't like seeing my sister that long, that type of thing. So that's what I would do. I just kind of be honest, while still being pleasant. You don't actually tell them I don't want to be around you people after work, but you tell them, no, thank you. You just say no, thank you. Or you can conveniently always have other plans, which you do. I've got dinner with the wife and kids, or, that was always a good one when I was young and had the wife and kids. Or I had the other job I had to go to. Sorry, I got to go to the other job and have to go hang out with you people I've just spent all day with you. That's how you do it. Okay. What's next?
I got stumped there for a minute. How do you handle a coworker that really dislikes you for seemingly no reason?
You don't worry about it. You're only with those people during the day. You treat them as a professional and you just
do your job. Just the facts, ma'am.
Yeah.
No emotion involved.
No, that's called being civil and professional. You don't gotta. You don't have to be anything more than that. That's it. That's all that's required. Being civil and professional. And if you're not at work, you don't have to even be professional. But at work, you have to be civil and professional. The rest of your time, you really only have to be civil. So, you're just walking around the street. You don't have to be professional, but you do have to be civil. It should be a requirement of every person to be civil. And,
yeah.
Behave yourself. Don't be a jerk. But at the same time, what do you care? It's like I told my niece one time, they were she was 12, 13, and her little sister was annoying her. And like, what do you care what some 5-year-old thinks? What do you care? Oh yeah, huh? I don't have to care. Doesn't make any sense to me why you care so much about what this, person with no experience, no knowledge, who's really just trying to get a reaction out of you. Why do you care? Should be like a horse with flies. You're just moving your tail around, not even thinking about it. Just you're just annoying. So, yeah. Okay.
But I understand that feeling,
Well, yeah.
sometimes, but not everybody is going to like you in this world. And to tell you the truth, what they think of you is none of your business. Put your head down. How about focusing on the people who do like you at work and maintaining those relationships? This person is the one losing out. That's what I think.
Yeah, don't worry about the people who don't like you. Worry about the people who do.
Yeah.
And the reason you can do that is because most people probably like you, which is why this person stands out.
Yeah.
It's like the sore thumb. Hey, I got 10 people around me. They all like me, but this 11th person doesn't. So what? You got 10 people around you that like you. Who cares about them?
Yeah.
You don't need them.
They don't like you, poo on them. They don't get you.
Maybe you wouldn't like them if you got to know them. Maybe your personalities don't actually match. Maybe you're a Star Wars person and they're a Star Trek person and you guys would just clash, right? Who knows?
Yeah.
So just let it be. Don't worry about it.
Go.
All right.
Tips for being a good employee?
Well, see, here's the thing. The best tip for being a good employee is to simply show up on time and be prepared to do the best job you can on any given day. People know you're not going to be the best you on every day, right? But if you kind of give your best effort every time, you be as open and honest as you can, that will take you far. May not take you far in every single place, but over time, it will take you far. And if it's not going to take you far in a place, you don't want to be there anyway. That's not a place you want to be if being open, honest, on time, follow through with what you say as best you can. Don't be afraid to ask questions. I don't understand. Can you explain this to me? That's very hard to do, but people actually respect it because it's better that you ask now than having to fix the problem later.
You know what stood out, what I have found in many situations is I get told to do something. Hey, I do it, and then these people are shocked. They're like, I don't have to follow up with you. You always do what I tell you to do. And I'm kind of like, yeah, you pay me money to do that.
It's not because I like you. I get this paycheck, to be here during this particular time of the day. And during those times of the day, I do things. And here's the other thing. Be prepared for the part of your job description that says and.
Other duties as assigned. It was the one where I have been.
I mean, we still laugh at that. My job description is simply and.
Oh, you do?
Yeah. So I told them. I actually did have the AI come up with a theoretical job description for my theoretical job, but realistically, my job description is simply and. Do what needs to be done. Sometimes it's I'm seriously being paid this much to do this. Hey, but it needs to be done. Sometimes there's nobody else to do it. It's got to be done. So I'm the one who does it.
Uh-huh.
And sometimes I'm not paid enough to do this, but it needs to be done. So I do it. Things balance out over time, right? That's how these things work. Sometimes I'm underpaid. Sometimes I'm overpaid. At the end of the day, I'm probably paid roughly what, all things considered, probably compensated properly. And that's what you have to. And don't forget, I've considered part of my compensation the fact that my commute is 3 minutes. That's valuable.
That's very valuable.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure what the dollar value of that is. But there is one, but I'm not sure what it is. But it's very valuable. So, just be the best you can be on any given day, and be prepared. Don't be afraid of being the dumbest person in the room, because you're not. You're just to be the one who's brave enough to ask the question, and be prepared to be and. Something needs to be done. Do it. If a difficult task, if you want to succeed and get moved ahead, and especially in larger corporations, companies, is don't be afraid to take on the tasks that nobody else wants to do. The tasks that look like this is a project that's going to fail. They know. Well, it's likely to fail. They know. Take it on. If you succeed, you will get recognized for that. And B, sometimes glory comes in failure. You're the person they can count on to do the difficult tasks. Next time a difficult but attainable task comes on, they're going to come to you. It's not ahead. All right. So that's your tips for being a good employee.
I see. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Should I warn an employee they are being fired?
They probably already know, even if they don't. But it's one of these things that, generally speaking, I mean, unless you're really close with them or something, it's you mind your own business. Yeah. So that would be my suggestion, to mind your own business.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah. I know
it's hard.
Now, if you're very personal and close with them, it's a different call, right? But if it's just somebody you work with and you have a casual kind of work relationship, you mind your own business. Most people, when they get fired, aren't surprised.
Yeah.
It's fair. Now, people get laid off and surprised all the time. People don't get fired surprised all the time. Most of the time, 9 out of 10 times, you're getting fired. It's at least likely or possible, if not likely. At least possible, if not likely, that they know.
Mm-hmm.
So mind your own business, because then all it does is kind of, it puts you in the middle of somebody else's business that you have no business being in. Now, maybe are you a supervisor? Again, they probably already know. All right. What's next?
What is coworking?
Oh, here.
Oh, whoa.
Oh, he gets stuck now, huh? All right, you're going to have to talk about coworking for a second.
I have no idea what coworking is. No, is it sharing a space, where you work 4 hours a day and then you can only work part-time. So you work part-time and they come in and they actually sit down at your desk behind you and start working on the computer screen you have pulled up. I have no idea.
Well, that kind of stuff happens all the time in like call centers and things like that. Co-working, if my understanding of it is still correct, they may have changed since last, things changed in 15 years. But 10, 15 years ago, co-working was where two people literally shared a job. There was one job and two people shared the job. So it happened during a time of layoffs. And so rather than lay people off, he just had people would share a job. One person would work 25 hours, the other person would work 15 or whatever it was.
Okay.
And so it wasn't, maybe they didn't share a desk, but they shared a job. Maybe they also did share a desk, who knows? But
yeah,
it was the sharing of a job.
Okay.
Between two or more people.
Okay.
Maybe someone worked Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. The only person worked Tuesdays and Thursdays. Who knows? But that's where it came from. And, most of those were HR type jobs, or, the jobs that office type jobs that are probably gone now. So I don't know what co-working job like that would be at least abundant. But just because I don't know of it doesn't mean it's not there. Oh, wow. I've been using your one shot almost like the whole time. There we go.
Yay, I'm very popular.
You're very popular today. Yeah.
And I wore makeup just for you.
That's going to be interesting editing. All right. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to have to go to stills of me or stills of us. Going to have to snag us a picture. And snag us a still out of there or something. All right. So what's left?
Okay. Anyone else deal with being abandoned after hired? Yes, and I preferred it. Let me just dive in and just get the job done. Just a very basic overview, and then I'm off and running. Thanks.
Well, it depends on the job. Some jobs need more training than others. Sometimes you're hired because they need you. You're supposed to be the one to come in and solve their problems. If they had someone who knew what you were supposed to do, you wouldn't be there. The reason you're there is because whoever was there before screwed this all up. We don't know. Fix it.
Exactly.
Hey, that's
what I was known for. I would come in and get this mess and then detangle it and set up turnkey systems with documentation so the person behind me can come in and just pick up.
Yeah. Because it's so that happens kind of all the time. Now, is that what they're actually talking about? Or are they talking about getting hired and then never getting called back to get scheduled?
No, that's what they were talking about.
So they
got hired and they're like, there you go.
There's your job. Have fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Guess what you were hired to do? You're hired to fix that.
Yeah.
They don't know they can't tell you what to do because they don't know.
They don't know.
So it's a great opportunity for you to put your mark on something and do it your way. You get to impose your way on whatever it is, projects or services or whatever it is you're working on. So good for you. Actually, that means they thought you were competent. They thought you have the ability to handle this difficult situation without much oversight. Congratulations. Now get to it. You've got a difficult task ahead of you. So but you got it. If you don't believe in you, when the moment you don't believe in yourself, they believed in you.
They believed in you.
So that's it for our live segment. We're going to start maybe not next week because next week we is already done. So in a couple of weeks, we'll start adding some mental health and mentorship and different types of questions to this segment. I think is what we'll do. Balance it out a little more.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So that's it. We'll see you guys, on the other side. Please remember, you can find us at latenightLove.us. You can send your letters, questions, comments, suggestions, etc. to love at latenightLove.us. Have a good night. And please remember, love everyone.